Once upon a time, a long time ago, a man named Elon put remote work on his hit list. It was the darkest month in Silicon Valley history. First, he bought Twitter, then he banned remote work, and that, of course, was millennia ago, way back in November 2022. And, of course, since then, he's flip-flopped, faster than a fish fixed on a laser pointer, as we covered in 2 of our most popular episodes of all time late last year. But as a wise philosopher once said, the seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. And while Elon's big dreams for Twitter never included remote work at all, he's now admitted that that was a huge mistake. And it turns out one of the most impressive things about Elon is his flexibility. And now he's back making headlines, doubling down in that direction by shutting down 2 offices, one in Seattle and one in Singapore. He's told everyone there to go home and work remotely instead. Somehow, he's gone from the world's biggest hater of remote work to literally enforcing it, which is kind of like if Darth Vader said sorry and became a Jedi again. And while we're all rooting for a happily ever after, this episode isn't really about Elon. It's about the context that almost certainly led to his decision, an impending recession, and what that means for remote workers. It's Out of Office episode 27. And this week, we're peeking under the C-suite to bring you the latest insights on rolling tech layoffs and figure out how to navigate those uncharted waters. Okay, can we just talk for a minute about how unstable everyone's jobs are right now? I mean, I remember a time when if you were talented, tech was one of the most stable and secure job options in the world. Just last year, everyone was complaining that they couldn't find good people, and now tons of my friends are looking for work. It feels like nobody's safe. They're calling it the tech reckoning. And it's impacted giants like Google and Amazon and Zoom and smaller companies like GitLab, Swiggy, and Citizen. Amazon is laying off 18,000 people, Google 12,000, Zoom 1,300, which is a lot for a company of their size. And there are hundreds of others who have decided that now is the right time to drastically downsize their workforce. And besides recession-proofing, no one really knows why. The companies have cited various excuses like growing pains, but layoffs on this scale are pretty extreme. What is really going on here? Could Elon's flip-flop indicate that remote work has something to do with it? Am I the only one who wonders if it's pure coincidence that these cuts and closures come at the same time as companies start to accept both the existence of great talent outside of America and the reality that remote work is more productive on top of being more cost-effective? Well, let's look at the facts. First, COVID-19 caused a growth explosion, right? I mean, it was bad for retail, it was great for tech. Everything scaled up, from team sizes to salaries, online adoption went up, stock prices soared. I mean, just look at Zoom mid-2020. That is a 700% gain, to no one's surprise, because obviously their product was perfectly positioned to benefit from the pandemic. Then, the pandemic exposed remote work for what it is, a superior model than cubicle farms. The world may have been closed, but business was open, and boy was it booming. As companies realized that their people were happier, healthier, and more productive working from home, a lot of them probably started to wonder why they even had offices in the first place. And finally, new technology made high performers super performers. The last year or 2 has seen the rise of AI and other automation technologies, and it's also widened the gap between super performers and everyone else. The more we embrace technology, the easier it becomes for bosses to spot high-value employees and get rid of inefficient ones. And Elon Musk is the perfect example of this. I mean, that man knows exactly what he wants, even if he has to press all of the buttons to get it. And there's a lesson there, right? I mean, the world is messy. Say what you will about the man, his business sense is sharp enough to cut through the bullshit. He understands that productivity is the key to getting through a recession. And suddenly, those shiny head office buildings that Twitter had everywhere probably started to feel like dead weight. Plus, remote workers say they're happy to accept a pay decrease to keep working from home because the work-life balance goes up by so much that it makes it worthwhile. So to recap, higher productivity, lower pay, or at least the option of it, happier workforce, way less overheads. I mean, clearly, remote work can bring huge efficiencies to the tech sector. Unfortunately, it looks like in the short term, that may happen to a smaller headcount of people than we may have thought. So, it's never been more important to ensure that you're one of the good ones. If you're worried about your job right now, here are 3 things that can help you become more earthquake-proof, whether that's now or when you find a new role. First, consider stepping outside of your niche. The rule of 3 creates stability. So if your resume shows experience in 3 different functions or industries, that not only demonstrates resourcefulness and adaptability, it covers your basis to give you more options if work in your specific niche dries up down the road. Next, get better at working remotely. Not to toot our own horn, but remote work is becoming a bigger I told you so by the day. So it's high time everyone and their grandma learned how to do it properly. And no, sitting in Zoom calls all day is not it. That is a C+ at best. You need to become an asynchronous superstar. It'll keep you working through climate change, pandemics, and even the occasional zombie apocalypse. So make it a priority. And if you're not sure where to start with that, I don't have time to go into all of it right now, but I do recommend the Harvard Business Review's Guide to Remote Work. And lastly, put yourself out there and start publishing online. Posting interesting or insightful content related to your area of expertise will result in opportunities, whether it's just a short tweet or an entire video series like this one. Visibility is a commodity, so take the time to showcase your skills as a subject matter expert at what you do. That's how you grow a tree of opportunity that can shake fruit into your basket right when you need it most. And speaking of baskets, if none of those things work, you can always send a gift basket to an old-fashioned offline recruitment company. It's a lost art and they'll probably love it. But seriously, Elon is right. The world is messy. The best thing you can do is invest in yourself so that when the tides reach in, they don't sweep you away, they just take you somewhere new. And that's it for this week. But before I go, I want to know, how do you create stability during this time of tech layoffs? Do you have any great advice or stories that I didn't cover? Sharing your story may help someone sleep a little better tonight. I'm Andrew Allen, and the future of work is out of office.